Dawn, you mentioned in the offseason that Chloe had really put in the work as she wants to be a pro someday. It's really shown these two games. She's had a double-double. Just how much more confident, how much more, I guess, confident does she seem out there every night?
Yeah, when you put in the work, and you actually see your work displayed in actual games, it gives you a confidence boost. I mean, she increased her range. Like, the three is much more fluid and comfortable. I mean, she knows how to play. Like, she knows how to pick and choose her spots, and she knows how to force the issue, and she's rebounding the basketball. She's just playing at a really high level, and it's really good to see, because this is really the start of her fourth semester, which is just nothing. Like, she's a sophomore, really.
I guess it could definitely be worse in terms of having people out, but you talked yesterday about, having a whole team back and figuring out minutes, and then obviously without Tessa. Just how is that going, kind of learning lineups and everyone gelling in development and everything on your end, but obviously what you're seeing too?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially for our bigs, because we got 7 of them, and sometimes they'll play in the first half and not play in the second half. Sometimes they don't get to play until the second half. It's hard juggling them, and it's really not for anything besides the numbers. I don't think it's hard with the guards. I think Maddie's going to give us a boost. Her energy, her effort, her ability to facilitate for her teammates, and when she gets comfortable, she'll get used to getting some downhill drives. She's just a totally different look than Raven. And it's good to have the versatility of our guard play.
You talked Sunday about sometimes you win a game like this by 30, 40 points, you don't learn anything. Do you feel like you learned anything about this team tonight, and if so, what?
Yeah, we learn every game we play, we learn something. I learned that at times we're not very disciplined. I'm used to us being a lot more disciplined than we're playing with in longer stretches. And then when we get up by a big lead, I'd rather us not try to do things to please the crowd. It's cool if you connect with it. It doesn't look good if you don't. And I just try to stress to our players too, especially the ones that are WNBA eligible. It's not a good look if you're trying to increase your stock to be, to raise your stock when it comes to having GMs and coaches view you. Like, it really is important to play the right way. It's really important not to take chances. It's really important to play disciplined basketball. It's really important that you don't press the score, because they're not looking for you to come in the league and score. They're not looking for you to come in and probably start. So you got to be under the radar. You got to blend in. You got to hit open shots. You got to make the right decision, and you got to get out of the way of undisciplined basketball.
Dawn, what was it like seeing the latest banner come down and being back home and then having to get right into it after that?
I mean, it's beautiful. It's always a beautiful ceremony, no matter if the spotlight was on it or not. I knew what it was. I knew, and I didn't even have my glasses on. I knew what it was. So anytime you're able to be a part of, the very people who have covered us, the very people that have, traveled with us, the very people who always seem to make this a home court advantage for us. To unveil the banner with them is always a great thing. It's always, and it's only one. It's only one team that is able to do that, and we've been able to do it 3 times in the past 7 years, and that's incredible.
Coach, we talked to Mylacia just now, and she was talking about, she doesn't try to put on a show, but when she connects on those things, it is a show. These fans are entertained, no doubt. But you're kind of touching on it a little bit. And how do you coach that balance of she wants to add that spice, but you also want her to be disciplined?
Yeah, I mean, it's a battle with Lay, and it's not that she understands. Like, she really understands. I mean, she's really dynamic. She's a dynamic guard. I thought, for the most part, she was lean as lean could be, like playing great, and sometimes she can't bite the bullet. But if she can play as lean as she played today, I can eat some of the stuff that she tries to do. Is when it's not as lean as it was today, you're still trying, and maybe sometimes that gets her going a little bit. So she, I give her a little leeway with it, but I also let her know, I let her know during the game, like, your game was like great, like efficient, it's the game slowed down for you. You were doing a lot. You were facilitating. And then she gets anxious to make a play. And a lot of times it is to her teammate. Like, it is an unselfish thing that really gets her in trouble. For us, we want her to go score. Don't go try to make the spectacular pass. They're not ready. They're not ready. So go score, you miss, they're going to get the rebound. So it's those types of instances. And it's just a conversation. Like, I enjoy it. She knows now. Like, she could actually, if I say something, she can finish the sentence. But she can't hear me in those moments in the game.
Talked about third banner in 7 years, 60th straight home win today. How do you sort of put that in perspective, with former players, current players, on the run that you guys are on right now?
I don't. I just think about the next game. I really do. Like, if we stop to think about what we've accomplished, we'll let our guard down. So I think it's great that you roll it off. I didn't know that you can roll it off because I've moved on to the next, to the next game. It's unimaginable. Like, you think about winning national championships, but you don't think about how you do it. Like, you don't think about, a 60-game home win streak. It's not one of the goals that we set, but to actually live it and do it and be a part of it is, I gotta tip my hat to all the players and all the coaches that have created what we've created. So I think it's remarkable, but I'm not going to think about it after I leave this, after I walk through that door. But only trying to just add to the next one, try to get better. Like, this team has to get better. We have to figure out a way in which, Chloe's becoming that dominant post, and it's in a different way. I think once Ash, knocks the rust off, she's going to be all right. Once Adele knocks the rust off, she'll be okay. And collectively, I think our team is going to be all right. It's just we got to settle in, and we just got to play a lot more lean because we don't have a 6'7" that we just throw it into, and she shoots 60% from the floor, and she blocks shots. So we have to do it another way. I like our defense. I like what our defense is doing. Our rotations. We gotta be a little bit better one-on-one in the paint. We gotta be a lot better with that, and that's doing our work early and not allowing great position and easy catches.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned earlier this week that the last couple of neutral site games felt like home games for you. What can you just say about the fan support that you have received, especially with the championship run that you guys have been on?
I'd say the fan support has been uncommon. Like, our theme is uncommon, and that is a tribute to what's happened here in Columbia, South Carolina. Like, it's not a common thing that we win, that we have a 60-game home win streak. It's not. I think we're on 41 now. Like, it's uncommon. So I think, it's unimaginable as well. Like, again, I wanted to win national championships here. Didn't know what that would look like. Didn't have a vision for it. I didn't see like a sold out arena. It's weird, but I was just one-sided, like narrow-minded, and trying to put a product on the floor that could win a national championship. I didn't really look at the external or the peripheral, but the people here have created, something beautiful that can only organically happen. It wasn't forced, it just organically happened. And when it happens that way, it lasts much longer than if you force it.
Dawn, any concern at all that Raven, Sanaya, Bree, players that have been here a long time maybe aren't having like the kind of dominant impact early in games, maybe not struggling, but it's like not really used to what we're all seeing?
Yeah, I mean, it's, sometimes it happens. I do know that this is a real thing. When we have our WNBA eligible players, sometimes it happens during the season at some point. It hasn't happened this early. Like, and maybe that's not what they're thinking about, but I'm sure they are thinking about it. And it makes you press, and it gets you out of your normal routine of focusing on the game. Your focus becomes something else, and then the things that you do well aren't up to par. So, I mean, it's conversations. It is they understand it, but you really can't control it. So we just have to try our best to get them back into their habits, and let them know that, and show them the film, and let them know that, again, the least of their worries is scoring. If you can defend, if you can blend in, if you can make good decisions, sometimes making good decisions is just playing most conservatively. Like, don't try to force the issue. Let me just pass it off and let me stand over here. Shot comes, let me shoot my normal routine and technique, hit it. You look good. But, that simple part of the game escapes them because they feel like they have to do something. And it's just being a competitor. Like, we're in the game to impress. We're in the game to do something that makes us feel good, and to showcase our talent. But you got to know when it's not working out. But I'm not worried. Like, I'm not worried about them at all.
You kind of alluded to this in a couple different questions, but just kind of going further team-wide, do you kind of see a consistent trend that's maybe the cause for some of these slowish starts, slowish first halves? Not saying you should be worried right now, it's 3 games in, but just something maybe team-wide in general you're looking at as a cause for some of that?
No, just a new team. I mean, it's the same team, but it's a new team. With the dynamics have changed. The way we do things have changed, especially offensively. Like, we don't have a anchor. You just throw it up, she grabs it, calms everybody down, scores or leads to a score. Like, Fagan moving into the starting lineup, it's new for her. And one player can change the whole trajectory of everything and the whole chemistry. And I'm not saying it's her, it's just the unit playing together. And sometimes she gets off to slow starts. Today she got off to a slow start. I thought NC State played great, got off to a great start. So it's her feeling that position out. Chloe is playing tremendously well. Our guards are not connected for some reason or another. They're pressing a little bit, natural. We'll get back into the flow of things. Thank you, Coach. Thank you.